The time is now 6 p.m. Our regular City Council meeting for July 5th, 2022 is now in session. First on the agenda is Councilmember Whitaker will lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas. Please rise.
Let us pray. Dear Father, you have blessed each and every one of us because we live in a country that is truly the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you for another successful Jubilee celebration that brings our thoughts back to those blessings and reminds us of the sacrifices that were made to bring us that freedom. Thank you for keeping our community safe as we celebrated, and thank you for the wonderful men and women who serve the city of Schertz who made yesterday's celebration possible. I ask your continued blessing on our city, and I ask for your blessing on our country. I pray that you guide us here in Schertz to make decisions that will help foster community spirit, to continue to look out for one another, and to appreciate our blessings, our freedom, and one another. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Councilmember Whitaker. All right, we'll move on with the employee recognitions, the introduction of new employees. First is engineering. We'll move on to finance.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm happy to introduce Mike Walkton, our new financial analyst. He joins us from KCI Kinetic Concepts, where he worked for 17 years in numerous different analyst positions, where he ended as the senior financial analyst. He was born in Ohio and lived on a dairy farm until he was 10 years old. His family moved to Washington State, where he lived for 20 years, and he moved to San Antonio area in 2002. He enjoys outdoor activities. His favorite hobby is golfing. He enjoys going around the U.S. and finding new and exciting golf courses to play at. His most recent states have been Florida, South Carolina, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. He also enjoys looking for Indian artifacts. It's an activity he did growing up as a child with his father, where they looked for arrowheads together. So this is Mike Walkton.
Hello. Been here for about a month now. Like I said, I came from KCI. It was a little bigger company, about 5,000 strong. So I wanted to try something a little bit smaller, see how it is. And so far, I really enjoy where everybody kind of knows your name instead of just being a number. So thank you. It's been really fun.
Well, welcome to our team.
Thank you.
Next, we have planning and community development.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I have the pleasure of introducing Samuel Haas, our new planner. Sam comes to the city with a bachelor's from Texas Tech in political science and is in the pursuit of his master's in planning, which he is expected to graduate in December from the University of Albany. Sam enjoys the outdoors, basketball, playing with his dog, and he's also a musician. But we're really excited to have Sam on board. He started on June 20th.
Yeah, that basically covers it. Just want to say, thanks for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with all of you guys.
Well, welcome aboard. Next is Public Works, Drainage.
How are y'all doing, Council, Mayor, Dr. Brown? I have Trevor Walker here. He's from in the drainage department now. His wife's name's Ashley. They spend a lot of time riding four-wheelers and dirt bikes. He likes to watch baseball. His favorite team's the Rangers. Oh, Trevor likes to spend time with his family around the holidays, spend a lot of time relaxing with his wife, Ashley.
Thank you for the opportunity. Look forward to it.
Well, welcome to our team. And next, we have Public Works, Streets.
Good evening, Mayor, Meeting Council. We have two Public Works Streets employees that's been with us for probably about 2 months already. The first one I'm going to introduce is Ernesto. Ernesto started with us on May 9th, 2021. He is a Samuel Clements graduate. He's been here in Schertz pretty much his whole lifehood. He's got 3 brothers, Marco, Leo, and Ricardo. He just likes fishing, basketball, football on his spare time, just to hang out. That's basically, right? Okay, and then next one we have Jesse Nauta. He's actually from Guam. He was born and raised in Guam. He came to the U.S. in 2007, where he recently went to school in San Antonio. He graduated from Taft High School. He's got a wife named Liliana. He's got 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls, and their names are Haven, Caven, Xavier, and Hayden. Caven? Okay. All right. Got me tongue twisted. He enjoys just art, cars, tattoos. So, thank you.
Mike's all yours, gentlemen.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and if you guys get a chance to try those pastries, they're good.
Welcome aboard, gentlemen. All right, we'll move on to a presentation. We have a presentation. Oh, we do. I didn't see it down here. I am so sorry.
Yeah, pull it. Steve, pull it. Can you hear me? There you go. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to first take a moment to introduce y'all to Brian Ricker. He enjoys barbecuing and spending time with his 2 sons, Lucas and Maverick, and his fiancee, Lexi. Next, I would like to introduce you to Anthony Grubbs. He actually has 5 kids, 4 boys and 1 girl. He enjoys riding dirt bikes with his son. When asked what his dream vacation would be, he would love to go to Hawaii. The next would be Jeremy Weaver. He's new to the Public Works Department, but not new to the city. He actually came to us from the meter reading, the billing utilities. He's been working out really well over in water. He enjoys fishing, and his favorite holiday is Groundhog's Day, but mostly because it's also his birthday.
Gentlemen, Mike's yours.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm glad to work with the community. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome aboard. Now we have one. Okay.
Mayor, Council, I'm sorry, I think we got a little lost in the shuffle of all the people at the beginning of the meeting. So I'm super happy to be here representing Larry Bush and myself to welcome Herman Pacheco, our newest engineering inspector. Herman is originally from San Antonio, a military family, went to Burbank High School. He studied civil engineering technology at Texas State Technical Institute. Now it's Texas State Technical College in Waco. During his career, he moved from San Antonio to Alaska, to Corpus Christi, to Alaska, back to San Antonio. where he has worked for Sarah, for TxDOT, most recently for SAWS, a number of other places, but he brings a wealth of information and experience in civil engineering, design, and construction-related fields. He's been married to his wife, May, who's here this evening, for 44 years. They've got 4 children, 2 engineers, a teacher, and 1 in med school. Fairly impressive. They've got 4 grandsons. Looks like one of them is here this evening as well. He is an avid saltwater fisherman and an artist. I believe he told me pen and ink and acrylics are his favored mediums. And I think he said something about being maybe a Tom Brady fan, which is generally okay with me. I might not like his teams, but he's a Michigan quarterback, so I'll give him that. So everyone, this is Herman.
Hello, good evening. I'm Herman Pacheco. It's really good to be here. Started out in San Antonio, went all the way around the world, and wound up back in San Antonio. So here I am, and it's good to be here, and thank you very much.
Well, welcome to our team. All right, now we have a presentation regarding City View. Ms. Delgado?
It's going to work this time, I promise. Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this is a presentation on the City View software, Emily Delgado, Senior Planner. So just some quick history background. Resolution 18R20 was approved on March 13th, 2018 by the City Council, which did authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with City View for the software and implementation services. In general, City View is a land use management software that helps automate business practices for planning, permitting, and contract registration, code enforcement, inspection scheduling, the kind of the full gambit of development is rolled into City View. This was a multiple department software, so planning, community development, engineering, public works, fire, parks, IT, GIS, we all had a big role and part in the implementation of City View. So although the resolution was approved in 2018, it was originally scheduled for go live in 2020, but due to the extensive kind of collaboration between city staff and City View, and then the hurdles created by COVID-19, we didn't reach that go live deadline. However, we are extremely excited to announce that on May 16th, we did officially go live with City View. So City View is broken into 3 separate applications or components. Portal, which is utilized by the residents and customers. It's kind of their one-stop shop for the residents and customers. Workspace, which is utilized by city staff to complete reviews of applications, do the full process and review, correspondence, issue permits, all of that is through Workspace. And then there's mobile, which is utilized by the field staff. In other words, the inspectors to complete inspections actually out in the field. So I'll first start by saying City View Portal is accessible from the City of Schertz website on multiple different locations, links. We put a lot of blasts on the website about City View, so it's relatively easily accessible. So I want to start by kind of going into Portal. So I'll preface, this is the test environment, just so we're not creating kind of fake permits or in the test environment, but it does mirror exactly what it would look like if you went to the City of Schertz website and got on the City View Portal. So it's broken into the different departments to try to help navigate contractors' residents to the correct location, trying to make it a little easier for them. So I wanted to walk through how to submit a code enforcement complaint just to show just how simple it is. So there are 2 options. A customer or resident could sign in and register for a portal account and then start their code enforcement complaint, or they can do it anonymously. The big difference there is if you sign in, you will receive status updates, you'll be able to check on the status of that code enforcement complaint. If you do it anonymously, you submit that complaint and then you're kind of hands off, you can't look at it again. I will also say that the test environment is sometimes a little slower than the live environment, so. There we go. Okay, so this is just how simple it is to submit a code enforcement complaint. So describe in detail the nature of the complaint. So we're going to do one of our favorites, tall weeds and grass. Enter the description of the locality. So in this box, it's not the actual address, but the backyard, the front yard. So we're going to say it's in front of City Hall. We're doing a complaint on ourselves. The next step is going to be actually picking the location of that complaint. So say if you don't know the actual address, you can find the location in the map. If you still can't find it, you can also type in, descriptions of where the complaint is, and our code enforcement officers can look at it that way. But since we know the address, so CityView works in a kind of step-by-step function. That way customers know kind of where they are in the process of the submittal, and it's a fairly easy workflow to make sure that you're hitting all of the steps and know where you're at. So since we're doing this anonymously, you just skip to the next step. If we had any PDFs, pictures of the complaint, anything like that we wanted to share with the code enforcement officers, they could upload that at this time. We're going to review that everything's correct. Do our CAPTCHA at the bottom. And it's as simple as that. We've just submitted a code enforcement complaint that's now in Workspace for, since this is in this area of the town of Schertz, it's already on Jerry, one of our code enforcement officers' to-do list to start that code enforcement investigation. Simple as that. So while we're in the portal side, I want to log in and show kind of the additional functionality that customers have now. So after a contractor, resident submits a permit application, whether that's a planning, engineering, fire, building, or that code enforcement complaint, they can check on the status. It's a lot more transparent than what we previously had, where if you wanted to know the status of your permit, you had to call or email one of our permit techs. Now you can log into your portal account and see just from one screen all of the applications that you have submitted, all the permits you have submitted and their current status. So kind of just running through this really quickly. This case right here, it's in the status of pending, meaning that it's been submitted to staff and we need to start that review. And as soon as we start that review, it'll change statuses. This next one down here at the bottom, return for correction, meaning that staff has reviewed that application, we've submitted comments back to the customer, and they can actually see those comments directly from this screen as well, including any documents that we send back to them. They also have the ability to pay fees, so when the permit is ready for issuance, we just need to pay fees. They can log into their portal account and do that from the website as well. And then this is a nice feature as well. This next one, the permit's been issued and it's ready to schedule inspections. They can do that from portal. And the nice function, so this was a sign permit, it narrows down the different types of inspections to specifically what's needed for that permit application. So say this is your first time doing a permit, you don't know what type of inspections are going to be needed. CityView actually helps prompt and identify which kind of inspections are needed for that permit type. So the next thing I want to go through is Workspace. So this is, again, the test environment. This is what city staff utilizes. This is our main dashboard. It provides our to-do list, a map of the city, alerts map that identifies the code enforcement cases that are active in the city right now. We have a quick screenshot of total unpaid fees, inspections for that day. So really, CityView is built to provide prompts and guidance on what work we need to get done that day, provides the due date, so we have a better mechanism for tracking. So for instance, this is that code enforcement complaint that we just did. It's already on here for Jerry to do. So this is actually opening that case in Workspace. So we have information about where the code enforcement case details came from. It was from the public portal, what the description is, where the location is. All of that information that was provided by the customer through portal. So some other items, these bottom boxes down here, there are activities. So that's that prompt of this is the next item that has to be done. So on this one, we'll just say we're verifying that portal complaint. It's complete. We know that we need to get started on it, and it's already telling us we identified it's a legitimate complaint and we need to start that investigation. So it's prompting Jerry to go and do that initial inspection, record that violation. So it's an automatic, you do one activity and it's prompting you for that next activity. So kind of based on taking a step back. So this specific case is identified to be Jerry's based off of GIS data, a spatial query that's run in the background. From portal into workspace, it identifies we're in inspector zone 2, that's assigned to Jerry, it goes on his to-do list. We have the same programming built for the building inspectors as well. So depending on which area of the city that someone is requesting an inspection on, it knows which inspector to send it to. So kind of the last piece is mobile. It's really utilized by field staff to complete their inspections. So it's a more scaled down version of Workspace. They still have a lot of capabilities to do it, but it's all based off of their tablet or their phone. That way when they're out in the field, they can do an inspection while on site. Previous to City View, they would identify the items that need to be corrected, would have to come back into the office and put it in multiple systems before the contractor would necessarily get feedback on what needed to be corrected. With City View Mobile, they can do that standing in the field, mark what needs to be corrected, and that's getting sent to the contractor right then and there. So a big customer service improvement just in that small little piece. So some City View stats since go live on May 16th. I will preface this was prepared for last week's meeting, so we're a week behind, so I'm sure the numbers are even higher now. But some interesting kind of quick screen grabs. So roof permits, we've already issued or ready to issue 59 permits just in a month, basically. And 51 of those are closed out, meaning that we actually did the full inspections, we closed them, they did that roof final, all the way from getting their permit issued, and doing inspections all within City View, which is great. Plumbing permits, we've had 42 that have been issued or ready to issue, 73 mechanicals. We've had 68 new single-family permits submitted, 20 of which have been issued, and 9 more that were ready for issuance, awaiting payment. And as I mentioned, this isn't just for building permits, it's also for fire, engineering, public works, planning. So fire's done 17, engineering and public works had 33, and then planning applications, we had 80. So I'll make a note on the 80 for planning. That's not 80 new applications. The planning division actually went back through along with basically every department. We took our old projects that we were still working on and converted them into City View. That way the customers that we were already working with could check on the status and use the new software as well. So some key takeaways since go live. Prior to City View, building permits was utilizing multiple different software programs, Encode, WebQA, SharePoint Planner. With City View, we're just utilizing that one software. Even though it's Portal, Workspace, Mobile, it's still just City View, which has decreased the processing and take of permits. By only needing that one software system and not having to download from one program, input into another program, it has allowed additional time for help at the counter, help on the phone, really being able to provide additional customer service. It's not unique just to building permits. Planning, engineering, fire, and public works have all done very similar things that we're not having to use additional programs anymore at this point. As I mentioned on the portal side, City View offers transparency for residents and customers that was not previously available, and we've already received a lot of positive feedback on that the contractors are happy that they can go in and check on their permits themselves. And then City View's reporting capabilities provide staff the ability to quickly see workload, current status, next steps, revenue, and that's not just the staff, that's supervisors, that's the city management office. It's a lot easier to get a quick screenshot, snapshot of where a project's at, what the next step is, and all of that. So that was a super quick presentation. Happy to go back over anything, but that's kind of City View in a nutshell.
Thank you, Ms. Delgado. Councilmember Dollar?
Sorry, guys, I have a couple questions for you. On the anonymous code compliance complaint, when that person's creating that complaint, do they receive a notification that they will not get any updates as to the status of that?
I'd have to look. I'm not sure if they do right now, but we'll take a look at that. And if it's not super clear that if you do it anonymously that you're not going to receive that feedback, we'll see if City View can add additional language on that.
Okay. And then on the sign example you used there, it said the final inspection required for the foundation and for the final signage, wouldn't you also require an electrical inspection on that as well?
Depending, if there was electrical work, yes.
Okay, all right, yeah. And let's see here. When you have your different inspectors assigned to their different areas, if one of them got caught up on their work, will it automatically reassign from other areas work orders to them, or do you have to do that manually?
So it would not automatically do it, but we could do it either in the office or even them in the field. They could reassign it to the different inspectors. Same thing as if an inspector doesn't come in that day or has to leave early, we can very quickly change it to a different inspector to get that inspection taken care of.
Okay, and one final question. The old data and the old software that we're using that we're no longer using, how are we going to retain that?
So a lot of it is saved in Laserfish, which is our document repository, and then it's my understanding Encode doesn't necessarily go away. It's still there. We're just not using it for any new permits or applications.
Great.
So all that data is still being housed there.
All right, great, thank you. And I'm excited to see this finally going live, and I'm sure y'all are too. It's been a long haul to get here, and it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see some future reports on this, on how we're doing with it.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola.
Yeah, this is wonderful. It has been a long time in coming. Tell me, how thick is the learner's manual?
So I will tell you, we did a full 2 weeks of training with staff where IT recorded all of them. So we have hours and hours and hours of training videos that we can utilize. And I know individually, so I know Megan has been working really hard to get SOPs on the planning side created that have the step-by-step guide. So it's quite a bit.
You say you've had some of the contractors already using it, though?
Yes. So all of those, basically all of these numbers here, we have, starting May 16th, if you wanted to submit a permit, we were pointing you towards CityView, getting you registered as a contractor, getting that portal account created, helping any way that we could to get them to utilize CityView.
Well, me and my flip phone are quite impressed. I'm wondering, when we're going to be ready to put a seminar together for TML, because I think a lot of cities would love to have this type of opportunity, and like to make it available for other people if it really turns out good, and I'm hoping it will. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, again, back up on everybody else. It's great to see it actually in operation finally. I was on economic development when this first came up quite a few years ago, and thank you very much for all the work that you guys have been putting into it. I've stopped and seen it. I've signed up for it already. I'm a user, so it's great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It didn't take long before I started getting positive feedback on it. I mean, from 1 week to the next, I mean, he just said, oh, this software is great. Even the contractors that have contracts in San Antonio, they were just impressed by the way, CityView actually provides them exactly where they're at this point. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done and getting the rest of the staff up to date on how to use CityView, and we're moving much faster now, so thank you.
Thank
you. All right, we'll continue with city events and announcements. Announcements of upcoming events. Mr. James?
Just let folks know, this coming Thursday, July 7th, and again, someone who's used this software, we have the ribbon cutting ceremony for Taco Palenque. That's going to be at noon on Thursday the 7th. They're located at 17605 IH 35 North, Old Pollo Tropical location. That night, as part of celebrating Parks and Rec Month, we are having the Popsicle Party, 6 to 8 p.m. That's over here behind us at the Schertz Dog Park, 940 Community Circle. Saturday, July 9th, we have another Nature Discovery Series, Discover Clues and Traces. Starts at 10 a.m. at Crescent Bend. Our next regular council meeting is here July 12th at 6 p.m. And the Northeast Partnership is meeting on July 14th. Just to let folks know with regard to the election, filing for a place on the November 8, 2022 ballot for the City of Schertz joint general election set to elect a mayor and council members in places 1 and 2 for 3-year terms from November 2022 and ending November 2025. That begins on July 25th and ends on August 22nd at 5 p.m. Candidate packets are available online on the city's website and can also be obtained from the city secretary's office at 1400 Schertz Parkway, building number 2.
Thank you, Mr. James. Announcements and recognitions by our city manager, Dr. Brown.
Thanks, Mayor. Just wanted to recognize all the hard work done on Jubilee yesterday. I think the staff did a fantastic job. Lauren Schrum and her team, of course, led the way for us, and they did great work, a lot of incredibly hard work, but also public safety, public works, and many other departments provided folks. I'd also like to recognize Summer Hall for the emergency operations plan. We briefed at 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and every time we're doing these exercises now, our emergency plan gets better, stronger, and we're getting more familiar with it. And we're thinking more in terms of the, emergencies and the possibilities and things that could happen. So I felt really good about all that. Our fire chief and police chief were both present during that brief out, and so it was very good. So thanks to all for all the great work.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Announcements or recognitions by the mayor. Boy, do we know how to party. That was a huge party we had yesterday. I can't say enough about the city staff. Like Dr. Brown mentioned, everybody in our city staff was involved in preparing for this, and some were actually knee-deep in everything that needed to be done to get this accomplished. And the party just grew bigger. Walking the streets and everybody just smiling and having a good time. That's what it's all about. And the music at night was awesome too. Again, thank you to our city staff. It's a great event, and I can't say enough of all the work that was put behind this. Thank you all. We'll move on to the hearing of residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the city council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address. Mayor Pro Temp, please call our first speaker.
We have 4 tonight, and our first speaker is Maggie Titterington.
Good evening, Council. And I second, third, all the comments that have been said about the 4th of July parade and the Jubilee. It was really great, and you're so right. The staff worked so hard on that, and so very, as a resident, very much appreciate all the effort that goes into keeping that tradition every year. It's so special, and it just really makes me proud to live in Schertz. I wanted to give you all a few chamber updates. On July 19th, we have our chamber monthly luncheon, which also is our leadership corps graduation class, of which Ms. Gonzalez will be graduating with her classmates. Very excited about that. And Jay Johnson with J2 Leadership, which is John Maxwell type of training leadership, will be our keynote speaker on that, and he always has a great presentation. On July 29th, we are partnering again with Tropical Smoothie Cafe and Schertz for our summer smoothie celebration. So this is taking place of our coffee at the chamber because it's just way too hot for coffee right now. And that's going to be from 7:30 to 9 a.m. at Tropical Smoothie. And they give free smoothies, breakfast treats. It was great. We had about 50 or 60 people show up on our first kickoff last month. So please come out. Also, the City View presentation was truly awesome. Being and working with so many of our chamber businesses and having heard and shared some of the frustrations about the whole process, this is so streamlined. I really want to get with the staff and arrange either some type of a presentation at an upcoming luncheon or some type of email blast that we can send out to the specific businesses that are thinking about planting, in the midst of planting, and let them know that this is now available, because that is going to cut out so much of the time and a lot of the frustration and who do we contact, who do we need to hook up with, and the fact that you can put in there and it tells you automatically what the next things are, that is fantastic. I am so excited about that. And the last two things is one, I hear our mayor is already giving autographs, and the reason why is finally, our community guide business directory came in first place for the state of Texas of all the Chamber of Commerce's. We were so excited. I think it was the balloons and the 3 mayors in the balloons, but, and there's some kind of a controversy going about who looks the best as the mayor of which city, and I'll let you know what that pans out to be. But no, we're just very proud of that. We worked very closely with all 3 cities and city staffs to put together a really, really nice community guide, and so my fellow chamber members thought it was that nice too. So we did take the first place award, and just found out today that we were listed, we broke the top 10. We are number 9 in the best chambers of commerce in the area, as cited by San Antonio Business Journal. So a lot of good things going on with our chamber. Thank you.
Mr. Daniel Jameson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and management staff. My name is Dan Jameson, 1048 Richmond Drive here in Schertz. And I just want to basically echo what's been said about yesterday's activities with the parade, the Jubilee, everything that went on last night, the fireworks, everything. It just, the crowd even last night was even bigger, I think bigger than last year at the Jubilee. So, you know, keep it up, let's make it even bigger next year. And I salute all those who have served in the military to help keep the America free. Let's continue to keep America free. Thank you.
Nick Sherman.
I just want to say thank you to the mayor and the council for everything y'all do for the city.
Okay, sir.
Here on a...
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Herman Harless, 11564 West Seguin Road, Schertz. Anyway, I had a situation happen here, I guess, last week, 2 weeks ago. Individual apparently was going at a high rate of speed coming down our street, and they lost control, went through our fence and stuff, and I think we're finally getting the insurance squared away on it. But the issue why the person lost control was the road condition. I got a 11520 location. There's a dip and a bump and a dip. And everybody who lives out there, we just kind of like drive around in the other lane and it's still a bump on the other side. And also at 12630, there's a dip, and that was put in when they redid the road there because somebody had a mailbox and their concrete approach to their driveway was down, and instead of moving it up or whatever, the whole road's got a dip, and it's like a foot or 18 inches you go down, and you know, it's definitely, you got to have both hands on the steering wheel scenario. And you know, the other one there at 11520, you know, it's just, you know, there's skid marks from trailer hitches, I believe, you know, where they've bounced and stuff. And you know, I've heard of one of the neighbors said something about they, you know, had some damage to their oil pan because the vehicles, you know, go through there and, you know, it bottomed out and stuff. And, you know, even if you're going the speed limit, you know, I think it's 45, that, you know, your lunch will still come up in your throat. So I'm not exact, and I know the soil over there is totally different from over here along 35 with all the limestone rock. You know, it doesn't move, but that black gumbo over there, that stuff, when it's wet, it swells up, you know, 6-8 inches. When it dries, it shrinks 9 inches, you know. Anyway, so I don't know if y'all can get somebody from, you know, Public Works, Streets, or whomever to get something done out there and you know, improve those. Also the reflectors that the contractor put in back when they improved that road, they're starting to lose their reflectivity, and some of them are missing, and basically they never sprayed a line down, so if you're not driving Braille, you don't even know where the hell the center of the road is. And that, so I don't know, it's something else. And I brought this up a while back, the old portion of Ware Seguin that made a 290s there, y'all haven't renamed it, and it's not, you know, no signage. And I happened to talk to a resident over there, and they were saying, yeah, the school district wanted them to pick their kids up in the backyard, and that because the property goes to both streets and stuff. So I guess, you know, logically, okay, they got to add, you know, but, you know, realistically, their front is on the old portion of the road. So, you know, I don't know.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Sir,
Charles,
just 1 second.
Charles, would you talk to him, please?
Yeah, this is a public works issue, and if you go over there and talk to those fine gentlemen, they could take down the information that you just relayed to us so that they can actually find a specific location for the roads that need to be repaired. Sound good?
Okay.
Mr. Charles. Okay, now, Mr. Nick Sherman.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. It's nice to see all y'all. I don't get an opportunity to address the Schertz City Council often, but my name is Nick Sherman. I live at 653 Padova in Cibolo, Texas. As many of y'all may or may not know, I'm also on the Green Valley SUD Board of Directors. I'm here tonight on my own behalf. Wanted to share some information with the Council. Green Valley has had an unexpected vacancy in our board presidency. And so the vice president automatically ascends to the presidency, and the remaining directors will appoint a replacement director. We have agenda posted with instructions on how to apply for said position, and any resident of the city of Schertz that has Green Valley services is eligible to put in their name for appointment. I believe we have a date of the 14th of July set for a meeting to consider the appointment. So I know it's last minute, but if anyone on the council has anyone that might consider putting in, or if anyone listening at home or in the audience would like to put in for it, please go to our website. The instructions are listed there, but in general, you simply need to email your information to the Green Valley SUD General Manager, Pat Allen, at pallen, A-L-L-E-N, at gvsud.org, and your name will be added to the list of applicants. So that's my first point of business. Second point of business is a purely personal point of business. I live in the area of Old Wiederstein Road, and I just wanted to say I greatly appreciate the city doing some improvements to that roadway. I travel it to and back twice a day, hustling my 5-year-old off to daycare. So I certainly do appreciate it, and I know the city staff did it themselves. They did a good job. Give the streets guys a thumbs up for me, because everyone in that area that uses that roadway greatly appreciates it. It's 100 times better. And other than that, I do have a 5-year-old that I owe story time to, so I will leave the meeting to you, and I appreciate you all letting me speak. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sherman.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda items. They are considered self-explanatory, and information packets are provided to the council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, approval of the minutes of our regular meeting on June 28, 2022. Item number 2, ordinance number 22S25. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, amending the comprehensive land use plan by changing approximately 22 acres of future land use map from agricultural conservation land use designation to multifamily residential use designation, located approximately 1,100 feet west of the intersection of FM 482 and Herbertus Road, also known as Comel County property identification numbers 401-272, 401-273, 75375, 75237, and 75246. City of Schertz, Comel County, Texas. Final reading. Item number 3, ordinance number 22S26, an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, amending the official zoning map by rezoning approximately 22 acres of land to apartment multifamily residential district R4, located 1,100 feet west of the intersection of FM 482 and Herbertus Road, also known as Comel County property identification numbers 401-272, 401-273, 75375, 75237, and 75246, Comel County, Texas. Final reading. Mayor Pro Tem, please continue reading the rest.
Item number 4, resolution number 22R71, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the city manager to sign a letter of intent with Southwest Ambulance Service or Sales for the purchase of 1 new ambulance for fiscal year 2022, 2023, and other matters in connection therewith. Item number 5, resolution number 22R60. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, calling an election to be held on November 8th, 2022, for the purpose of electing a mayor and council members for place 1 and 2 for a 3-year term and making provisions for the conduct of the election, authorizing contracts with the county clerk of Comel County and the elections administrators of Bexar and Guadalupe County to conduct this election, authorizing the elections to be held as a joint election, resolving other matters incident and related to such elections, and declaring an effective date. Item number 6, resolution number 22R69, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Texas State Library and Archives Commission relating to the reimbursement of expenses incurred through the lending of Schertz public library materials to other libraries.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Council, do any of these need to be removed for discussion? Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 6?
So moved. Second.
A motion made by Councilmember Brown and second by Councilmember Whitaker. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We have 6 ayes, no objection, motion passes. All right, we'll move on to discussion item, ordinance number 22M29. An ordinance by the City Council of, let me start again. An ordinance by the City of Schertz authorizing the amended City Council rules of conduct and procedures to include appointment procedures for City Council liaison positions to the City of Schertz, boards, commissions, and committees, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance and providing an effective date. Ms. Dennis, floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and staff. Beginning of June, you guys talked about going back to having council liaison positions for the various boards, commissions, and committees. We looked through and we went to the city secretary's office. I went and talked to other cities, and what we found was what we could do is just amend your rules of conduct and procedures and add a section, which we are adding a section 5.3 regarding the appointments of these positions. There's various things we listed. A, council will discuss, and with a majority vote, appoint, which we're going to do next week. If you approve it on first reading, tonight, the final reading will be next week, and then we'll discuss, and y'all can decide which board commission you would like to serve on. But we basically took and added some appointment procedures, and I think you saw those all in red. we kind of vetted that through other cities and thought that this was kind of fair and pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to be adding those if you guys approve everything to your rules of conduct and procedures. And these will be, we're going to go ahead and appoint, next week you guys will decide and we'll appoint your positions. But then they'll be reviewed annually, because of elections that come up and there could be changes in council positions, so they will be reviewed annually. And so with this, it'll be a lot easier to put it in your council rules of procedures than to keep adding a resolution over and over and over. I think you've seen what we proposed. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Council, Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola.
Yeah, just one comment about removing a member requiring a two-thirds majority. I think that's a remnant of the past, back when we only had 3 or 5 council members. But now with 6 council members, a two-third is four individuals, which is a majority anyway.
Right.
So it's
kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
Okay. I can remove that. That's easily done, and I'll have it made, the correction made for final reading next week. Any other questions?
No other questions? Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 22S, 22M29?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilmember Hayward, and second by Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
6 ayes, no objection, motion passes. Next, we have a public hearing. Ordinance number 22S27. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, approving for the extension of boundary lines of the City of Schertz, Texas by annexation of approximately 287 acres of land located in Bexar County, approximately 6,050 feet east of the intersection of Trainer Hill Road and FM 1518, also known as Bexar County Property Identification Numbers 310-053, 310-060, 310-121, Bexar County, Texas. First reading. Ms. Harrison, floor is yours.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Dr. Brown. This is for Ordinance 22S27. This is for the Sterling Grove voluntary annexation. Here is the property outlined in green, just to get your bearings. This is Trainer Hill, FM 1518, and Weir Road. On June 7th, City Council did approve the resolution for the voluntary annexation. So now with the ordinance, this is the next step for that annexation process. They are proposing to annex approximately 287 acres of land that is currently under delayed annexation agreements into the city of Schertz. Again, the City Council did hold that public hearing on June 7th to approve Resolution 22R53. However, I stand before you tonight. As part of the annexation process, staff is required to send public hearing mailers to the property owners within 200 feet, as well as the associated school district. That was not completed prior to this public hearing. Therefore, at this time, there can be no action or motion taken on this item. The public hearing still has to be conducted, but again, no action or motion can be taken on this item. And that is all that I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. As Ms. Harrison noted, due to delays in the public hearing makers, we will conduct the public hearing, and council will be allowed to ask questions, but there will be no action taken today on this item. So since it is a public hearing, is there anyone in attendance who would like to address the City Council in regards to this subject? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is now closed. Council, questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 20? Oh, that's right. I just mentioned it and I still do it. Yeah, it's autopilot. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. No action taken, no discussion. We'll move on to the next one. It's not my day today. All right, we'll move on to item number 9, ordinance number 22S28. An ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, amending the official zoning map by rezoning approximately 362 acres of land to Planned Development District, PDD, located 6,050 feet east of the intersection of Trainer Hill Road and FM 1518, also known as Bexar County Property Identification Numbers 310053, 310060, 310061, and 310121, Bexar County, Texas.
Good
Ms.
evening,
Harrison?
Mayor, Council, Dr. Brown. This is for ordinance 22S28, the Sterling Grove Plan Development District. Megan Harrison, planner. So as we just saw, the property is outlined in green. The Trainer Hill is to the south, FM 1518, and Weir Road. So this is for the approximately 362-acre property. So there was public hearing mailers sent out on June 10th prior to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. There was a newspaper notice published in the San Antonio Express on June 15th prior to the City Council meeting. Here is the current comprehensive land use plan. On January 25th, 2022, the council did approve the amendment to the comp plan from estate neighborhood to estate neighborhood and agricultural conservation to single family. Here is the current zoning map. So where that differentiation of the acreages is that there is approximately 72 acres that is currently in the city of Schertz zone pre-development, and then the properties here, here, and then here, those are the properties that are under the delayed annexation agreement. So it makes up approximately 362 acres. So again, this property is going through a planned development district rezoning. There is some proposed changes within the PDD. They are providing 2 lot sizes, so the first one being an SF 55, and the second one being a half-acre lot size. They're also proposing some changes to the UDC under 211115, which is our signs. They have a requirement for a 32 square foot sign. They are proposing to do a 200 square foot sign face. They're also proposing to modify 211115D, which is that we have a requirement of 1 primary sign as well as 1 subdivision entry, one secondary entry sign, but that is at 75% of that primary. They are providing that 2 of the signs will be primaries instead of a primary and a secondary. So here's the conceptual site plan. So as you can see, the property kind of in this greenish color, those are the proposed 672 SF55s. And then in this tan color is the proposed 160 half-acre lots. The property is going to be comprised kind of those 2 lot sizes, and they also have approximately combined 45 acres of open space, park, amenity center, city trail system kind of throughout the site as well. As you kind of see, there are some green boxes. I know they may be hard to see on your screens, but there are some proposed mailboxes that will have covers and 2 parking spaces. So kind of to speak on that as well, given the meetings that were conducted with the subcommittee last year, as well as the recent one just a few months ago, there was discussions about the mixture of lot sizes. Sterling Grove, though providing only 2 lot sizes, has over 20% of the development as half acres. They are providing curved linear streets. Another topic that was discussed is the open space and parks. So Sterling Grove is providing, again, that combined 45 acres throughout the development of open space, park, amenity center. They do, another topic that was discussed was the side yard setbacks. They are maintaining that 10-foot side yard setback as well. They are providing the mailbox bump out. So again, that mailbox bump out with the cover and those 2 parking spaces. So again, unfortunately, as part of the annexation public hearing notices, this one as well, the notice was not provided in time for this public hearing. So with the annexation of the property not being able to be completed, the zoning may also not be completed as well. Therefore, no action or motion can be taken. However, the public hearing needs to still be conducted.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Once again, no action will be taken on this one, but it is open. It's a public hearing. So is there anyone in attendance who would like to address the City Council in reference to this subject? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is closed. Okay, Council, floor is open for discussion. Councilmember Whitaker.
Thank you for the presentation. I had a couple questions because I listened to the P&Z meeting, which is pretty lengthy, and So a couple things. On the lot sizes, so your presentation matches what the PDD says. So 2 lot sizes, 55 foot, and then the half acre. So I'm very enthusiastic about seeing those half acre lots, but I believe the discussion during P&Z was that the developer or the builder was, his intention, or their intention is to do a mixture of lot sizes. So I do think following that conversation, it would make sense to have in the PDD that what they said that they could agree to was no more than 65% of those lots in the mustard yellow color, that side of it, be the 55-foot, everything else had to be larger. So something like that, because I think definitely we're not looking for half of the development to be 55-foot lots, and the half-acre lots are great. We don't have to do anything with that. But since I think it is their intention to do a mixture of lots, I think we need to write that into the PDD. And I thought I was fine with the, agreeing to the, well, I think there was a discussion between the 60 or 65%. I mean, I'm okay with the 65% of the smaller lots being the 55-foot. So I do think we should add, before we keep going, that we need to get that back into the PDD.
So one thing I'll mention, because, Megan and I worked with the developer, I talked at P&Z on this. That makes sense. The thing to keep in mind, though, is depending on how we word it and how we write it, we can say, up to a certain percentage of the lots can be 55, the others have to be bigger. But how much bigger is really the question. 55 feet, 1 inch wider.
Right.
Another 1 foot bigger, so 6,051 feet. And I think that's really the struggle we have on these is it's if you don't put in how much bigger, it's only nominally infinitesimally bigger potentially. And so that would be, I think, the thing that both the applicant and staff need some direction on is if you're okay with a certain percentage being the 6,050s, i.e. 55, how much bigger do you want to see the remaining 35% of the lot?
So did anyone run the numbers on, if we just looked at that side of it, and if you took like 65% being the 55, and then do you know how big the other lots would have to be to get to that, what is it, we agreed to, 7,600 mean?
We don't, and here's one of the issues, and the applicant is right. When we write a PDD, we're setting the minimum lot size.
Right.
And so while they may have a few lots that are 6,050 feet, in all likelihood, the vast majority are going to be bigger. The question is how much bigger. I don't think they've done that level of land planning to know exactly how big the lots are. And I say that because otherwise, if they've laid it out, at P&Z, he could have said, okay, we can agree with this because it plays out that way. So I don't think they've done that level of planning to know how that plays out.
Okay. And so I think I heard the concern from P&Z is that if we say, sure, we'll go with this PDD, then they could do the 55-foot all on that side, or because there's no other point in the process where we have a stop.
It's zoning. So yeah, if you want to say, I like the half acre, I'm okay with a good portion of the rest being 55s, but I'm not okay with all of it. And of those smaller lots, I want 35% to be, say, 7,200 square feet. Then you would write that in the PDD, and staff could do that, work with the applicant to say, of the smaller lots, 35% have to be at least.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a lengthy discussion. I would prefer not to repeat it here. I appreciate you guys hashing all of that out. And I really, I mean, it comes down to, I think our intention is to have a mixture of lot sizes. Someone needs to make an executive decision to say what the number looks like so that we could write it in, just so that, like you were saying, you did say it just now, because you're looking at me like you did.
No, I can do that again, I think, and let me be clear. This is sort of, again, we have staff, what we do, we can work out the mechanics of it. This is really that policy decision based on that sort of subcommittee that said, yeah, this is kind of unique because it's got the half acre, But it's not so unique that we're willing to allow, 80% of the lots to be 6,050. So what staff really needs is how much bigger than the 6,050 square feet would you like those 35% of the smaller lots to be? Because again, if we make it 6,100 square feet, I'd kind of go, well, that's nominally different.
Well, okay, so if the remaining 35% are like just using, and I heard him say like, well, they could be 80 feet wide, they could be 70 feet wide, they could be 60 feet wide. A standard lot width is 60 or 70 feet, right? Well, why am I asking you?
Yeah, we tend to work off 5s or 10s.
Right, so.
Yeah, so whatever you want that to be. So if you said, look, I'm willing to allow these 55s, which is narrower than our typical district, then do you want the remainder 35% to be 65?
That's what I was going to say. Can we take the average there and say whatever the square footage is of a 65 by, are they going 110 or 120 depth? Or either way, 110. So whatever, my suggestion would be to add in there that the 65 by 110, whatever that square footage is, the remaining 35 need to average that amount. So, well, could you still then do a whole bunch?
Can you say at a minimum?
Yeah, it would need to be a minimum. Staff will write it as
Yeah.
a minimum.
Yeah, that way, you can go bigger, obviously, and,
Well, a minimum of 65 then?
yeah, that would be.
They're not allowing, then we wouldn't be able, then there would be no 60-foot.
Yeah, 65 by 120, or 110 and 7,200.
Because your 55s typically are going to be bigger, maybe a little bit wider. So if you want the 35 to be 65 by 110, we can.
Or bigger.
We can do that.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
General kind of where council is, let us go back and work, because that gives us enough to know kind of what the intent is. So we can go back and try to find a win-win with the applicant
Okay.
on this, to word it in a way that achieves that and works for them too.
Okay, I'm okay with that. But before I lose my speaking opportunity, my other question was the signage. So it's right now allowed for, I don't know, 23, 32 square feet, and they want to do 200 square feet. I mean, I like to see where I'm going, so I don't mind like a sign, but like, what does that mean? How big is that? Can you hold your hands out and show me how big is it?
I can't hold my hands that big.
And what?
10 by 20.
So it's 100. Two of those.
I will say this, one of the things we're going to have to hit with the UDC update here are our sign
Mm.
sizes for residential subdivisions. We've not really had a complaint about the size of signs for residential subdivisions that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think from staff perspective, we're okay with it. It's a little bit of one of those, once we kind of exceed what we're okay with, we'll all kind of go, yeah, that one's too big, don't go that big again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying that, so that's 10 by 10, so it'd be two of those. I mean, if it's going to be like a nice rock wall or something like that, which I would say that's with the crossvine, and they've got, I don't think that looks bad. It's just on paper, you see the variation there, and I don't want people to be like, wow, that's way off.
Working with them before next meeting to come back maybe to.
A graphic. Okay. Okay, I think that's all I had. Thank you.
Councilmember Brown?
Yeah, exactly what Councilwoman Whitaker said. I agree with wholeheartedly. We need to have that minimum, the rest of them a minimum size and larger. And I was thinking the same thing, 200 square feet. And this is it's still kind of rural down there. I don't think we need this monolithic 200 square foot wall out there, especially if they want to light it at night and things along that line. So are we following the night lighting for the base recommendations for downlight?
Adjusting our lighting requirements with this PDD at all. Our ordinance generally, our lighting standard we have generally is in keeping with what the development needs.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have, right?
Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola?
No, you're waiting for me now. I know you are. I completely agree with Councilmember Whitaker, actually. I think she stated it spot on. I don't have anything to add. So there.
Brian.
Councilmember Dalla?
No, I would just kind of say I would concur with the previous comments. You know, I like the half-acre lots. I like the fact that we're a little over 12% open space total for the development. The trails, everything is kind of what we, at least what I envisioned as part of the subcommittee process. And I also support the idea that we need to have at least another tier of lot sizes with a minimum threshold. And, you know, whatever it is you guys work out with the developer on that, whether you do it by 60 or 65 foot width or whether you do it by square footage or whatever, but something that would ensure that we have several different lot sizes, not just two. And I get with the curvilinear streets that you're going to have most of those lots are going to exceed the minimum anyway. That's just the nature of the way it works out. But I like having that step in there too to make sure.
Let's go back to the sign. Yeah, it's very difficult to judge the sign because if I'm looking at that sign and it's twice as big, but we don't know the dimensions of the sign. We're just looking at the overall square footage. So it can be a fence line that will have their name all over it, if I'm not mistaken.
And like Brian was saying, we can work with the applicant and trying to see if they maybe have a proposed graphic that they could provide that would kind of help visually kind of see what that looks like.
Yeah, because it reminds me of Homestead where they use it as a fence line to indicate this is their property, this is the property of the subdivision. So it's very difficult to judge exactly what it's going to look like until we actually see something on it. So I'm not opposed to the 200 square feet. I just cannot imagine what it's going to look like. Any other comments? Yes, Councilmember Dalla.
So the mayor brought up a comment there with the homestead sign. When I was on planning and zoning, that came in and we did a variance on that for the size of the sign, and it was based on a formula from the speed of the roadway in front of it as well as the distance. And so maybe somehow we look at using some type of formulaic approach to the limit on the sign size.
Council, any other comments? No? No action needed? Thank you. All right. Next is our roll call confirmation. Our city secretary, Brenda Dennis, will provide us a roll call confirmation on consent agenda items 1 through 6 and discussion item number 7. Ms. Dennis?
Yes, sir. Consent agenda items 1 through 6. A motion was made by Councilmember Brown, seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, Councilmembers Davis, Whitaker, Dalla, Howard, Brown voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed 6-0. Item number 7, ordinance number 22M29 on first reading. Motion was made by Councilmember Hayward, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola, Councilmembers Davis, Whitaker, Dalla, Hayward, Brown voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed 6-0. Item number 8, ordinance number 22S21 on first reading, no action. Item number 9, ordinance number 22S28 on first reading, no action.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis. All right, we have a couple of closed sessions. We have 3 closed sessions. Item number 10 is the City Council will meet in closed session in accordance with Section 551.074 of the Texas Governmental Code to discuss the direction to fill the city manager's vacancy. Item number 11, the City Council will meet in closed session in accordance with Section 551.087 of the Texas Governmental Code, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations, closed meeting. The governmental body is not required to conduct an open meeting to discuss the deliberation regarding commercial or financial information that the governmental body has received from a business prospect that the governmental body seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations, or to deliberate the offer of financial or other incentives to a business prospect. This is in reference to Project E-080. And item number 12, the City Council will meet in closed session under Section 551.071 to consult with the city attorney on matters in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meetings Act, to wit, Police Department evidence, room storage, and destruction procedures. The time is now 7:14. We will reconvene after our discussions. The time is now 8:56. We reconvene after our discussion on and deliberation regarding our closed sessions. On item number 13, in reference to agenda item number 10 regarding the city manager's vacancy. The time we started was 7:19 and time we finished was 7:26. No action required. Item number 14, in reference to item number 11, the Economic Development Project E-080. Time start was 7:32, time end was 8:21. No action required. Item number 14, or was that 15? 15, in reference to item number 12 regarding the Police Department storage and destruction procedures. This time start was 8:22. The time finished was at 8:49. No action required, therefore no roll call confirmation. So we'll move on. Any further announcements by our city manager, Dr. Brown?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Okay. Council, any possible updates or information requested from city staff? Council, any possible items you'd like to place on the future agenda?
Mr. Mayor, if you would, I love our 311 service. You know, it's a real simple process. You got a question about city issues, you just dial them up and they'll point you in the right direction. What I'd like to do is to have a discussion on to find a way or a process for our residents to get information or help or assistance or possible services that aren't specifically city related. And as I said, I'd like to have a discussion on what would be a good way to go about doing that for our residents.
Okay. Can we arrange that, Dr. Brown?
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Okay. You'll give me more specifics when Mayor Pro Tem? Okay. All right. Council, any, yes. Yes, Councilmember Davis.
Can we get an update on the status of the work that the staff's been doing on working the delayed annexation agreements? Where we're at, and, you know, I know we had a whole bunch of them that were outstanding that they've been working to bring in. Thank you.
Okay. Did you just want information, or you want an actual agenda item?
Whatever the staff wants to do, if they want to write it up with the current status and email it, I'm okay with that.
Okay, let's do an update, and if council wants an agenda item after the update, we'll go ahead and place that on there. Okay, Councilmember Hayward.
Yes, when Dr. Brown talks to Dr. Scagliola about the items of update, I'd like to be included because there's some information I'd like to include.
Okay.
Do that.
All right. All right. All right. Announcements by council members. Mayor Pro Tem Scagliola.
The most exciting thing was the 4th of July. Absolutely wonderful. Had a great time. Thanks all involved. That's all I have.
Councilmember Davis.
Yeah, again, thanks to the city staff for an excellent effort on the Jubilee. Thank you.
Councilmember Whitaker.
I did miss last week, but thank you for letting me go on vacation. And then returning just in time for the Jubilee. The parade was great, and I would like to give a shout out to Jared for bringing my golf cart back to life so that we could seamlessly flow through the parade. He did a great job because it was dead and then it was alive again. And then I did everything. We did the carnival, we did the fireworks, we did the band. It was all great, and so thank you. Parks and Rec and all Public Works and everybody who's out there, police department, fire department, they were all there. And I love that it's called the Jubilee too. That just is perfect. That is all.
Just clarification, did you have problems with the golf cart again?
I did.
Wow, that's 2 in a row. All right.
No, but there was a wire that wasn't, the wire, I don't know what happened.
Oh, right.
Something happened.
Councilmember Dalla.
So I attended the smoothie with the chamber there a week ago Friday before I left on my vacation as well. And then attended the parade Jubilee. Congrats to the staff and everybody that put in all those hours of hard work. It was well put together and well run. and went off without a hitch, and thank you to everybody that put in a lot of extra hours to get that done.
Councilmember Hayward.
Yes, last week I forgot to mention that on the 25th of last month, I attended the Craze and Stop the Bleed class. It was a very interesting class, very informative, and I think other people should attend that class going forward with all the madness that's going out. I attended a ribbon cutting based on the chamber, but it was in the Cibolo ETJ. It was the new fireworks warehouse that was opening up, and I did not leave with anything because I knew it was illegal to bring back to the city. And I attended the parade. It was fantastic to know the number of people that actually like to attend our parade and the number of people that like to participate in it, and it was a well-done thing, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to give a shout-out to Charles for jinxing me because my golf cart stopped 5 times in a row. So, but we had fun and waiting for it to turn it off and turn it back on so we could get going. It just didn't like going slow. That's all.
Well, since we've been having so many problems with golf carts, how about next year we do horses?
Councilmember Brown.
Just to piggyback with everybody else, a huge thank you to the staff and all the volunteers for making Jubilee another wonderful year, and let's just keep doing it.
Okay. Well, that's why I walked during the parade. The time is 9:03. We stand adjourned.